literally broken financially, but emotionally, spiritually, everything. And God really had to bring me down to help me realize where I wanted to go. And he led me to Joe Dispenza's meditations. On this video, I want to walk you through how I made over $10,000 in a single month after listening to Joe Dispenza's meditations. What's up, guys? Nico Rapkless here. Welcome to the YouTube channel. So I made a previous video, we'll call it part number 1. This will be part number 2, and I in fact think I'm going to make a part 3 to this series about how Joe Dispenza's meditations have absolutely changed my life and my business. So I want to walk you through this, and on part number 1, if you haven't watched that yet, I would strongly recommend that you go back to that after listening to this video. But I walked through how I landed my dream job and tripled my income at that dream job. But I kind of glazed over the part about how I started my own business, generated a bunch of clients, started getting dream clients from all over the place. Referrals just kind of seemed like kind of magic that kept coming into my life. So I wanted to dive deeper into that. I want to dive deeper into the story. And then also there's a gentleman here that reached out to me on Instagram and was asking what specific meditations that I was utilizing from the Joe Dispenza meditations. And so at the end of this video, I want to walk you through specifically my favorite meditations from Joe Dispenza, how you can get access to them, how I get access to them, and how you can apply them. And the other last thing I'm going to share with you on this video is I'm going to share with you how I actually amplify things with the meditations and how it really helped me propel everything. And again, like I said, I'm probably going to make a part number 3 to this, because then I thought about this even further, and then there was a few months after that I actually had my first 20k month. So I want to walk you through all this, and then if you guys do want me to make you a part number 3, just comment part number 3 down below and I will be sure to do that. So before we do jump in, want to let you know again, my name is Nico Rapkless. So glad to have you on the YouTube channel. Make sure and subscribe to the channel if you're on board with this mission. We have a mission to generate over 20,000 YouTube subscribers and magnetic manifestors so that you can go out there and create the life that you truly desire with the meditations and all the other tools that we have. We have a Skool community. It's a community that's on another platform called Skool, and we go live every single week. We have hundreds of people. We launched it the first few days and it got 100 people. We have now over 200 people, and we'll soon have over 1,000 people, and we go live every single week. We have plenty of meditations, tools, all sorts of really cool things in that community, so make sure and go check that out. All the links are down in the video description. So let's start diving into this story and help you understand where this $10,000 month came from and how I started attracting in all these amazing, really dream clients, which seem kind of like out of nowhere and magical. Okay, and so I think it's really important that I continue to dive into and help you guys understand how I was in such shambles before this happened. As I mentioned on the previous video, is I talked about how I was pretty much at rock bottom. Right? I had just ended a relationship with a girlfriend at the time, and it just was like the first real heartbreak. And for so many reasons, I won't go into the exact details, but we just made it very hard on ourselves. We stayed in the gray area of kind of being on off for over a year, and then she finally said, I can't do this anymore, and my heart just exploded. And it sent me down this path that I'm really grateful for, but in that moment it was really, really challenging. Okay, and then from there I would say had my spiritual awakening, because what happened is my business was in shambles, right? I was doing affiliate marketing up into that point, and then from that I just lost all my passion. The relationship really broke me, and then the only thing that was going well in my life was the gym. And I was getting strong, I was putting on some size, I was feeling good, and then one day I pushed it a little bit too hard and my pectoral tendon ripped right off the bone. And because of that, while I was benching, while I had all that weight on the bench, it just fell right on me. And I was so lucky and blessed that it wasn't right above my face. It could have fell on my face, broken my nose, my jaw. I was very fortunate and blessed. But here's the other thing, is that I didn't have health insurance. So I got surgery and I paid everything out of pocket. So I was literally broken financially, but emotionally, spiritually, everything. And God really had to bring me down to help me realize where I wanted to go. And he led me to Joe Dispenza's meditations, and specifically this particular book. Now, I did do a review of this book and my top 5 takeaways. You can see that right here. But so I'd go check that out after you watch this video if you have not already. But that's when I really dove into his work and really started understanding the power of the meditations. And I'm even thinking about going back through this one more time. I've read this thing probably like 6 times now. And what I always do, and this is a little hack, a little audiobook hack, is I actually listen to the audiobook while reading it at the same time. It helps with retention and I can speed it up. I always find those type of audiobooks on Spotify. If you have a Spotify premium account, then you can listen to audiobooks on there, which is really cool. So that's what I do, and it helped me really retain this stuff and help me understand why this stuff is so powerful, and how when we realize that we aren't matter, we're all just energy, and when you change your energy, you change your life, you change your frequency. If you're familiar with David Hawkins, he wrote a book called Letting Go and then Power vs. Force, but he has this scale of consciousness, and it just shows the frequency of all the different emotions. And it talks about how shame and guilt are down at the bottom, and then like love, gratitude, all those are at the top. And so what I realized of being in that really dark time, I was down in shame and guilt. I was shaming and guilting myself for where I'd been in my life, and because of that, I was at a very low dense frequency. Because of that, I couldn't manifest things because I was at such a low frequency. But once I understood that if you change your energy, you change your life. I mean, Joe Dispenza talks about it all the time, is that you change your energy, you change your life, because you're raising your frequency. And when you're at a higher frequency, you just naturally attract and manifest things that are at that same frequency. So once I started doing the meditations, I started making it my practice, and I started getting in that right energy. That's when everything shifted. And the metaphor that I constantly give is that it's like memorizing a song. Like, think about the high vibrations as a song that you want to memorize. And once you memorize that song, you're going to be at that higher vibration, right? But what a lot of people will do is they'll meditate for 5 minutes and say, oh, okay, right, that's good. But what I did is I started meditating 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Sometimes I was even doing an hour a day. Sometimes I think I even got up to like 2 hours a day, because I wanted to stay in that frequency as long as I possibly could, because then I would, quote unquote, memorize that song. And once I was in that energy more, I was more immersed in that energy on a more frequent basis. That's when I actually raised my frequency. Because if you think about it, if you meditate for just 2, 3, 4 minutes a day, you're kind of going up here. If you're at shame and guilt, you're kind of just boom, boom, boom. But if you meditate for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you make it really profound, and you really feel those emotions, it's kind of like going up here, and then you come back down, and you come up here, and then you stop dropping so low, and then you just keep coming up, you keep coming up, you keep coming up, and then you stay there, right? So that's really the principle that I applied to this. And so what happened after that is I got back to Arizona, and I realized that through these meditations, I wanted to start a YouTube ads agency. And that's exactly what I did. And honestly, what ended up happening is I focused, and I said, this is the skill that I'm going to develop. I'm going to be the best. I craft a vision. I helped me understand a vision. I'll tell you what really crafted my vision here in a second. But once I got clear and said, I'm going to do this, I just started going ham, and I'm like, I'm going to be the best YouTube advertiser on the planet. And I would just tell myself that every single day. And I would visualize what that looks like, how I would talk to people, how I would explain things, how I would, get clients, and all these my dream clients would come in out of nowhere. I would keep on telling myself that, and I'd close my eyes and I would visualize it, and then I would utilize a tool that really helped me do that. I'll explain that here in a second, but basically I got really clear on that vision. I got clear on where I was going, my intention with the elevated emotion, as Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about in his meditations all the time. And I kept doing that, and I kept doing that. And even though I would work for free for some clients, I would still do that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I ran into an old friend out when I was having dinner one night, and he basically brought it up, and he's like, hey man, I've been meaning to reach out to you. I've been wanting to start YouTube ads, and I would love to talk to you about it. And what was crazy is we finally got on the phone, and I talked to him. I told him my vision. I was telling him, like, this is my plan. I'm going to be the best YouTube advertiser. He's like, oh man, I love that. That's so cool. And then he told me, he's like, I would get started with you, But I said I was going to talk with these 2 other agencies. Now, mind you, these 2 other agencies, one was spending roughly at the time right around like $200,000 a month on their clients and helping like massively. The other one was working with, he was an agency that was probably the best in the world, that was helping people like Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, and all these very high level people. And so he had a meeting with both of them, and I'm like, okay, cool, like I'm just starting out, these other people are well established. He talks to them, he comes back to me and says, hey, let's do it. I see your vision, I want to be a part of it, and I believe in you. So he came in, paid my full price, and then what ended up happening as well is we got him really great results right away. We got him a bunch of leads coming through, got him a few clients, and then what he did is he made a post on his Facebook, and then what happened from that is he actually, like, there's multiple people that saw that post and reached out to me, and then there's one of those people, we got on a call and literally just paid me $6,000 right there on the call. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Boom. Send me the wire. Boom. And then another person come in. Like all these people came in, and it was just crazy. And I started connecting with these people. I connected with this one guy. He had over 1 million, or now he does. He has almost 2 million followers now, but I ran into him at a crystal shop and started building a relationship with him, and just all these crazy things started happening because of the fact that I was at that frequency, because I chose to do these meditations on a consistent basis to raise my frequency. And the more that I stayed in that frequency and I changed my energy, the more I actually gravitated all that type of stuff in. And then from there, that's when, that was great and all. And then that's when a better opportunity came in. That's what I explained on the previous video about how I got a dream job. I started working with some of the biggest clients I ever had, like $100 million clients, as I mentioned. And so that was a really cool experience. And then everything really got exciting when one of our clients tripled their ad spend. We're spending over $1 million a month on ads, and because of that, my income tripled. And then from there, like I mentioned, I won't go into depth because it's a much longer story, but then there was another month shortly after that where I chose to, I got fired from that job, and that's a whole story in itself. But then I got fired, I got a severance package, and I started another business, which is the business that I'm doing now. And then I hit a 20K month. So if you guys do want me to make a part 3, and I'll explain that whole piece of the story, it's kind of a wild part of the story, and really applies to all this. But the thing that I really wanted to hammer home is how important it is to have a clear intention and an elevated emotion, just like what Dr. Joe always talks about in his meditations. So some of the meditations that I absolutely love are on Spotify, and I personally love, they're all incredible. They're all incredible. I love the blessing of the energy centers, which basically takes you through your whole body and basically your whole energy around your body, and has you focus on the space around your neck, the space around your shoulders, the space around your, all the things. And I've been doing these lately. They're anywhere from 19 minutes to 24 minutes. I feel like that's a pretty strong sweet spot for me right in the early mornings. And so I will link those Spotify's down below. You can click on those and then you can listen to them. But that's what I personally do. And then on top of that, as I made mention, is that I got very clear on my vision, and I felt that vision because of the fact that I was very focused on it, and I use this really powerful tool. Now, there is a powerful tool inside of this book. It's called Mind Movies, and it sparked an idea of how can I elevate this even more? And it's a great tool. I believe I definitely made a YouTube video talking about mind movies and how they're really powerful. But me being a creative and wanting to create things and make them better and improve and mold and adapt, is I created a tool called Vision Espresso, and that's actually what we make for our clients now, and that's what we provide and offer people inside of our Skool community. It's the most powerful manifestation tool on the planet, really. But basically what it is, it's a custom audio from your future self that's in your voice, that's all based on your vision. So once you get really clear, it's about getting clear on your vision first and foremost, which I did. I got very clear on the fact that I wanted to be a YouTube advertiser. I want to be the best YouTube advertiser. And then I would just tell myself that every day, and I would listen to my audio every single day. And because of that, it was seeping down into my subconscious, and it was changing my energy on a deep, deep level. So in combinations with the Joe Dispenza meditations on top of the Vision Espresso, it was just like, it works like gangbusters, because then you're present, you're in the moment, you're raised your energy, you're very like zen, you're grounded. And then on top of that, then you dive into your Vision Espresso, our process. You answer 5 questions, you get very clear on what you want, and then from there, you just listen to it every day. We do that. You don't have to do anything. You just sit there right after your meditation, you get very present, and then it walks you through and it guides you through a future meditation that's guided by yourself. And it's really, really profound. And we've had clients that have, 5x their business in 30 days. Like, they've blown my numbers out of the water. Like, we had one client that hit his first 100K month like a year after he started implementing the Vision Espresso, and I think he's like doubled that, or maybe even tripled that since. We've got one client that's living in his dream multi-million-dollar home. We're going to be doing an interview with him probably next week, I think it is. And I could go on and on and on, and you can learn much more about all the experiences people have had inside of our Skool community, because again, like I mentioned, the links will be down below for you to join that. It's free right now. It soon will be paid, but it is free for everybody that's getting started right now. So I can't promise it's always going to be free, but it is right now. So that's kind of the gist. I think that covers basically everything. I wanted to just explain the meditations that I've been using, especially since someone asked me about the meditations from Joe Dispenza. I personally use the ones on Spotify right now. There's plenty on YouTube. He also walks you through a lot of them in this book. I know he's got courses, he's got meditations you can buy on his website. But again, I strongly recommend that you go check out part number 1, where I talked about how I tripled my income. And then I also really recommend that you go listen to this video where I talk about my 5 biggest breakthroughs from this book, because it's really, really powerful. And that, again, will walk you through how to get the most out of this book and retain it the most. That has really been a massive breakthrough for me. So that's the video, guys. I truly appreciate your time. Thanks for coming and spending some time with me. Make sure and go follow me on Instagram. I keep you up to date on all of the new and updated things that we are doing that's going to help you manifest more. And again, like I said, we are on a mission right now. It's a 9-day mission to get 20,000 magnetic manifestors on this YouTube channel, so that they can start creating their life very intentionally, and actually creating their life, whether that is making $10,000 a month, or tripling your income, or landing a dream job, or even 20K a month, 100K a month, like some of our clients. Sometimes they're way over that. So we are dedicated, and for the next 90 days we're creating a video every single day on this YouTube channel, so that we can create 20,000 magnetic manifestors. So if you'd like to be a part of that journey and that mission, we'd love to have you. Make sure and subscribe. Make sure and check out all the other videos. We share a lot of real gold on this channel. So it's not about just like pumping videos out every day. It's about putting quality videos that help you guys. So put in the comments down below what you got most out of this video, so that we can make more videos that's helping you guys. And again, we go live every single week inside of our Skool community. But truly appreciate you being on here. My name is Nico Rapcliffe. Excited to see you on the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.